You've memorized the script by now, haven't you? The one where you play the devoted seeker, the patient healer, the eternal optimist clutching at breadcrumbs of connection like they're sacred relics. You've whispered promises into the universe, dissected every text for hidden meaning, and bent your boundaries into origami shapes just to keep a foothold in his heart. But here's the question no one's dared to ask you. What if the love you've been chasing was never meant to be caught? This isn't another tired lesson about detachment. This is about the moment your soul finally outgrows the myth that love must be earned. The moment you realize the divine feminine's power isn't in her pursuit, but in her presence. Imagine a rose that stops straining toward the sun, only to discover its roots were the source of its radiance all along. That's you, love. Not giving up, but rising up into a love so vast, so unshakable, it no longer needs to beg for a seat at his table, because it's busy building its own damn banquet. We've been sold a celestial lie, that twin flames are about two halves finding completion. But the truth, you were never half of anything. The magnetic pull you feel isn't toward him. It's toward the unclaimed parts of yourself that you've been outsourcing for validation. And the moment you stop chasing, that's when the real magic begins. Synchronicities ignite like fireflies in July. Dreams arrive with the clarity of a struck bell. And that man who once held your peace hostage, he'll feel the shift in the atmosphere, not because you've left, but because you've finally landed in the one place he can't follow until he does his own work, your wholeness. So let's rewrite the story, shall we? Not as a tragedy of unrequited love, but as the divine feminine's finest hour, the moment she trades her running shoes for a crown and realizes the throne was hers all along. The chase ends here. The homecoming begins now. And darling, you've always been the destination. You ever notice how the most powerful storms end not with a crash, but with an eerie, loaded quiet? That's where you are now, love. The divine feminine's silence isn't emptiness. It's the pause between lightning and thunder, the breath before the universe rearranges itself. You used to pour your heart into texts that got left unread, voice notes trembling with hope, arguments that circled back to nowhere. And then one day, you just stopped. Not out of pettiness, not as a tactic, but because something in your soul finally clicked. Like a child who realizes shouting won't make the rain stop, you stepped inside, closed the door, and let the storm pass without you. Silence is the divine feminine's last love letter. It's not cold. It's not cruel. It's the sound of a woman who has loved so fiercely that she now loves herself fiercer. You've handed him the map to your heart 100 times. He still claims he's lost. So you stop giving directions. You stop waiting at the crossroads with a lantern. You let the night swallow the path, and in that darkness, something miraculous happens. He finally feels your absence instead of taking your presence for granted. Oh, but the ego will whisper that you're giving up. That silence means defeat. Darling, no. The ocean doesn't beg the shore to stay. The moon doesn't negotiate with the tide. There's a sacred arrogance in stillness, an unshakable knowing that what's yours will return without being lassoed with your tears. Think of the last time you bit your tongue instead of double texting. Remember the visceral weight of that choice. That wasn't you being small. That was you finally meeting the version of yourself who refuses to be an option in a story where she's the damn title. And here's the cosmic joke. The moment you stop speaking, the universe starts screaming on your behalf. Synchronicities multiply, dreams sharpen. The DM who once needed space suddenly feels the vacuum where your energy used to orbit him. It's physics, sweetheart. Remove the chase, and the chased realizes he's the one who's been running all along. But here's the kicker. You don't even care anymore, not in a bitter way, but in the way a butterfly doesn't mourn the cocoon. The silence has taught you something radical. You were never his to lose. You were always yours to reclaim. So let them call it ghosting. Let them say you've gone cold. You and I know the truth. This silence isn't the end of love. It's love's first real breath. The kind that doesn't hitch when he walks into the room. The kind that hums lullabies to your own spirit at 3 a.m. You're not waiting for him to hear you anymore. You're listening to yourself. And damn, you sound like a revelation. Let's talk about the dirty little secret of twin flame relationships. Somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that your love was a Swiss Army knife, equipped to fix his wounds, decode his shadows, and reassemble the broken pieces of his soul with nothing but your stubborn hope and a Pinterest board full of healing affirmations. And oh, darling, how gloriously you failed. Not because you weren't enough, but because love was never meant to be a full-time renovation project with unpaid overtime. Here's the cosmic punchline. You can't awaken someone who's still cosplaying as asleep. Think about it. When was the last time you shook a sleeping man and shouted, "Dream better"? Absurd, right? Yet you've been doing the emotional equivalent for months, maybe years, sending him articles on vulnerability when he's allergic to feelings, highlighting his potential like it's a redeemable coupon, showing up with your heart as a first aid kit, only to realize he keeps injuring himself on purpose. It's like trying to fill a colander with water, exhausting, messy, and ultimately a lesson in gravity. But here's where the magic happens. That moment you stop playing spiritual handyman, that's when the real work begins. Not his work, yours. The work of untangling your worth from his breakthroughs. The work of admitting you mistook "I can heal him" for "I am home." The work of realizing the most sacred boundary isn't keeping him out. It's letting yourself off the hook for his journey. And oh, the liberation when you finally drop the savior cape. Suddenly, there's space for your joy, your rest, your unchosen self. You rediscover hobbies he never asked about. You laugh at jokes that don't double as therapy sessions. You sleep through the night without drafting mental emails titled 10 Reasons You're Worth Loving. Please read before ghosting again. It's terrifying at first, this quiet, like stepping off a treadmill you didn't realize was set to marathon. But then you taste it, the sweet, uncomplicated air of not being responsible for his awakening. Now, here's the twist he won't see coming. Your withdrawal becomes the mirror he can't ignore. No more soft landings for his avoidance. No more emotional band-aids for the wounds he refuses to acknowledge. Just the stark, unedited reflection of his own choices. And that's where real growth is born, not in the warmth of your compassion, but in the chilling absence of your participation. So let him call you cold. Let him accuse you of giving up on us. You'll smile because you finally understand the truth. The greatest act of love isn't fixing him. It's believing him when he shows you who he is. And the greatest act of self-love, walking away to prove you were listening. There comes a moment, quiet, unceremonious, almost embarrassingly ordinary, when you realize you've been auditioning for a role that was yours all along. You, the divine feminine, with your heart like an open cathedral, lighting candles for a man who kept blowing them out and calling it darkness. You, the poet of unconditional love, reciting sonnets to someone who only ever responded with post-it notes. And then, one day, without fanfare, you simply stop, not with a dramatic exit, but with the quiet click of a door you didn't even realize you'd been holding open. This isn't surrender, this is evolution. Think of it like this. You've been holding a rose out to him for years, thorns digging into your palm, whispering, "See how beautiful love can be." While he stares at your bleeding hand and says, "I'm not really a flower person." And then, grace of graces, you finally look down at your own fingers, at the blood, at the rose now wilting from neglect. And something in you says, "Oh, I could just put this down. I could plant it in my own garden. I could stop waiting for him to see its worth and start marveling at it myself." That's the ego death. Not some grand spiritual climax, but the simple seismic shift of realizing you were never meant to be a supplicant in the temple of your own love. Here's the alchemy they don't tell you about. When you stop begging to be chosen, you accidentally stumble upon the forbidden truth. You were doing the choosing all along. Every time you muted your needs to accommodate his fear, every time you twisted your boundaries into pretzels to make him comfortable, every time you treated his mixed signals like Morse code, you were this close to cracking. You were the one anointing him as your mirror. And mirrors, darling, are only as clear as the light you shine into them. Now the fun part, the universe adores this kind of rebellion. The moment you stop orbiting his potential, entire constellations rearrange. Synchronicities pop up like wildflowers after rain. That song, that number, that random stranger who says exactly what you needed to hear. It's not magic. Well, okay, it's a little magic. It's physics. Energy flows where attention goes, and you've just redirected a tsunami of focus back to your own soul. Suddenly, you're remembering things. Like how you used to paint before he said your art was too intense. How you loved thunderstorms before he called them bad vibes. How your laugh sounds when it's not edited for his comfort. And him, oh, he'll feel it. Not because you're punishing him, but because you've stopped absorbing his inertia. Like a planet losing its moon, he'll wobble. He might even reach out with some half-baked epiphany about space and timing. But here's the miracle. You won't care, not in a bitter way, but in the way a sunflower doesn't mourn the clouds. You're too busy remembering how good the light feels on your face. So let this ego death be your baptism, love, not into indifference, but into fierce, unapologetic belonging. To yourself, to the truth that twin flames aren't about finding your missing half, but recognizing your own wholeness in the reflection. And if that reflection ever decides to step into alignment, beautiful. If not, you've already become the love story you were waiting for. You know that moment in old Western films when the gunslinger finally holsters his weapon, brushes the dust off his coat, and walks away from a fight that was never his to win. That's you now, love. Except instead of a revolver, you're putting down the mental spreadsheet where you've been tallying up his breadcrumbs. That one text from June, the half-hearted "I miss you" at 2 a.m. The way he looked at you that one time like you were a miracle he couldn't quite believe in. For years, you treated these scraps like sacred artifacts. Proof that if you just loved him harder, purer, more perfectly, he'd finally step into the love story you saw shimmering in the distance. But here's the secret the universe has been whispering all along. Real love doesn't keep receipts. Think about it. When was the last time the sun demanded gratitude for shining? When did the ocean ask the shore to apologize for retreating? You've been treating your love like a limited edition collectible, carefully doling it out in exchange for potential, for moments, for the ghost of what could be. Meanwhile, your heart's been trying to tell you the truth. Love isn't a transaction. It's not a ledger of, he did this, so I'll do that. It's not a negotiation where you lower your standards to meet him halfway across a bridge he's not even building. And then, grace of graces, you wake up one morning and realize you're tired of being the only one who remembers the anniversary of his almost commitments. You're done replaying conversations like a detective searching for clues in a mystery he's not even trying to solve. The mental energy you once spent decoding his mixed signals, you suddenly want to spend it on your dreams, your joy, your unapologetic, uncalculated aliveness. Here's where the magic happens. The moment you stop keeping score, the entire game changes. Not because he suddenly wakes up and starts sprinting toward you, though, hey, miracles happen. But because you finally understand, this was never about him earning your love. It was always about you realizing you didn't need to earn his. You'll know you're free when his name stops feeling like a question mark. When you can hear a love song without mentally editing it into your story. When what if becomes what is, and what is you, gloriously, messily, unequivocally enough. Not as a prize he might one day claim, but as a force of nature who's finally stopped asking for permission to exist. So, let the old ledgers burn, darling. The only thing you're counting now? The infinite ways life loves you back when you're not busy bargaining for scraps. It's way more fun than waiting for him to do the math. There's a secret hidden in the space between your reaching and your retreat. A quiet, sacred alchemy that transforms absence into the most profound invitation. You've spent lifetimes believing love was a language you had to speak louder, more often, with grander gestures, as if your devotion could be measured in the volume of your pursuit. But here's the truth you're just now remembering. Real love doesn't beg to be witnessed. It simply exists, like gravity, like sunlight, unquestioned, unearned, undeniable. Think of the last time you stood at the ocean's edge. Did the tide rush in faster because you begged? Did the waves grow taller when you stretched out your arms? Of course not. The ocean moves by its own rhythm, its own ancient agreement with the moon. And you are no less vast, no less powerful. Your love doesn't need to be chased, negotiated, or amplified to be real. In fact, The moment you stop orchestrating its proof is the moment it becomes undeniable. Here's the paradox no one tells you. Your withdrawal isn't abandonment. It's an act of sacred trust. Trust that if he's truly your twin flame, the universe doesn't need your frantic energy to deliver him. Trust that love isn't a hostage situation where you must keep negotiating for his presence. Trust that the same force that aligned your souls in the first place doesn't require your micromanagement to realign them. You're not walking away from love. You're walking into it, into the kind of love that doesn't need to be held tightly to be felt. And oh, the miracles that unfold when you finally release the reins. Synchronicities multiply like wildflowers after rain. Dreams arrive with cinematic clarity. You start noticing how life has been whispering to you all along. Through songs, through strangers, through the way the light hits your windowsill at exactly 4:37 p.m., painting gold on your skin as if to say, look how you glow when you're not waiting for someone else to notice. But the real magic, the moment your absence becomes a mirror. When you're no longer there to absorb his indecision, his fear, his half-hearted attempts, he's left with the one thing he's been avoiding, himself. And that's where the true reunion begins. Not in your arms, but in his own reckoning. Because twin flames aren't about one chasing the other, they're about both souls facing the same direction at the same time, not because they've been convinced, but because they've chosen. So let this be your emancipation, darling. Not from love, but from the exhausting delusion that you must earn it. You are not a puzzle to be solved, a prize to be won, or a lesson to be learned. You are the ocean. You are the moon. You are the love story you've been waiting for. And if he's wise enough to recognize it, the reunion will be sweeter than you've dreamed. If not, you've already become the home you were once begging him to build with you. Now go dance in the freedom of knowing the right love never feels like a negotiation. It feels like coming home to yourself first and always. You've stood at this crossroads before, the moment when the heart's compass spins wildly between holding on and letting go. But this time feels different, doesn't it? There's no dramatic breakdown, no tear-stained ultimatums, just a quiet exhale as you finally loosen your grip on a story that was never meant to be forced. This isn't defeat, beloved. This is the divine feminine's ultimate alchemy, transforming the leaden weight of chasing into the golden light of being. Imagine a tree that spent seasons straining its branches toward a distant storm cloud, begging for rain, only to realize its roots had been drinking from underground springs all along. That's you now. The love you've been seeking outside yourself wasn't lost. It was buried beneath layers of conditioned striving, waiting for you to stop long enough to feel its pulse within your own chest. The miracle isn't that he might return, it's that you've returned to yourself, carrying wisdom no amount of togetherness could have taught you. This journey was never about convincing someone to see your worth. It was about you embodying it so completely that the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself around your radiance. Notice how life already responds differently. How opportunities bloom like night blooming Sirius when you're not watching the clock for his call. How your intuition speaks in full sentences now that you're not drowning it out with analysis paralysis. You've become the lighthouse instead of the life raft. And oh, what a view it is from here. So let the old narrative burn. What rises from these ashes isn't a hardened heart, but a love too vast to be contained by old paradigms. Whether he steps into this new frequency or not becomes almost irrelevant, like worrying if a butterfly will approve of your metamorphosis. You've outgrown the need for witnesses to your becoming. The reunion that matters most has already happened. The one between you and the unshakable truth that you've always been the love story you were waiting for. Now, you get to write the next chapter from a place of delicious, unscripted freedom, not as half of something searching, but as the whole damn universe expressing itself, joyfully, messily, magnificently complete. And if Destiny's blueprint still holds his name, he'll find you there, not at the finish line of his awakening, but in the sacred space where two sovereign flames choose each other anew every single day.